Elon Musk is getting out of the White House. He's still involved. He's still got his Doge team there on the ground, but he is out, and it's in part because take a look at the first quarter earnings. They were down 71% there for Tesla. I mean, he's got a company to run, thank you very much. People had talked about him leaving at some point. The president even communicated this. That got leaked, by the way. That was not great. But this was out there. He said he'd stay for the first 100 days, and then he'd go back to business. Well, the board of directors really wanted him to go back to business. They've actually, according to the Wall Street Journal that had this story exclusively, been looking for a replacement. They were looking for a replacement because check out the stock price. Okay, you see there, I've got it up on the screen. You see exactly when he started Doge, and then you see it sink. Because Elon's like all in, right? Whatever he does, it's like 1,000% of him. And so when he started Doge, he was absolutely 1,000% about Doge. Even when he was campaigning for Donald Trump, he campaigned. I mean, he really put his heart and soul in it. And we love him for that, right? I mean, he's brilliant. He's a genius. We wouldn't even have an electric vehicle industry, thank you very much, that the left loves so much if it weren't for Elon Musk. We're sending people up into space because of Elon Musk. We're probably going to be colonizing Mars because of Elon Musk. I mean, the guy is brilliant. He's great. And I think he thought he could really make a difference in a super positive way. And he did. And his legacy is going to continue to live on, and he's still going to have a role there. But look, they want him back at Tesla. I mean, he was sleeping on the factory floor, right? He's super involved. He micromanages, people say. But that's not all bad, especially when you're trying to excite people about doing something really, really, really different. According to the Wall Street Journal, they write, early last year, after some 2 decades of running Tesla, however, Musk had confided to someone close to him in late-night texts that he was frustrated to still be working nonstop at the company. As I said, sleeping on the company floor, especially after a Delaware judge struck down his multi-billion-dollar pay package. Do you guys remember that? That was like amazing to me. Here's this guy who's working for nothing. Like, he doesn't even take a salary. And he said, okay, well, I'll just be compensated in stock. And if I do a good job, I'll get more stock. Well, he did a good job. And so guess what happened? The stock price went up, which meant before you knew it, he was owed $56 billion, 55.8. It was a pay package that was approved by the board of directors at Tesla. He was taking no money. He's sleeping on the company floor. And he's like, listen, I don't want anything. I just want to get paid in stock. So if this company does well, I get a portion of it. It's his company that he built and he's working for. But you know what? A judge said, no, we're not going to allow that. That's a Delaware court judge. It was mind-boggling to me, and obviously mind-boggling to Elon, so much so that Elon hightailed it, said, who the heck would want to register their corporation in the state of Delaware? I'm moving to Texas, thank you very much. And he re-registered his corporation in Texas. But you know what really got me in that whole story? It was amazing. The lawyers that brought the suit. You know how much money they wanted to get? $6 billion, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't build a company. They didn't sleep on the company floor. They didn't have anything to do with the success of the EV industry or what Tesla had become. And yet, because the guy who created the company said, I'm not going to take a salary, I'll be paid in stock. If the company does well, I do well. Because the company did really well, they sued, saying that this was just egregious and it was too much money. And you know what? They wanted $6 billion for their time. To take it away from the guy who's creating this. They create nothing. Zip, zero, nada. All they create are a whole bunch of headaches, and yet they want to go in there and collect some $6 billion. I mean, I think it wound up being somewhere around $345 million because the judge said, yeah, you know, that might be a little too much. You think it's a little too much? You know what this tells you? It tells you we need some tort reform. We need some tort reform fast, because think about it. If you're going to have lawyers that are so greedy, they're going to get in there to get their fair share for themselves. I mean, it's not like shareholders would have benefited from that. It would have been the lawyers pocketing the $6 billion. You know what would have happened to the company? I mean, it is happening to the company. It's losing Elon Musk. It's losing the guy that is the visionary, because he's sitting there going, well, if I can't get paid because I got these lawyers doing crazy things, then what is it all worth? This is an example, shall we say, of tort reform going needed, because this kind of legal insanity is costing our economy overall, costing our economy. And I've been thinking about it a lot, not just in terms of Elon, because that was an amazing story and just disgusting to me that these lawyers wanted so much money. But you think about what the drain is on society in general, right? You've got lawyers out there doing everything they can, the ambulance chasers, everything, the guys that are going after people like Elon just trying to create a great company. And those frivolous suits are resulting in $443 billion per year in cost to the American consumer. Who needs that? I mean, if you drill down, you'll look at, say, car insurance. The premiums have gone up by $300. Why? Oh, because of these frivolous lawsuits. You have hospital visits that cost roughly $650 more than they did the previous year, due in part to the legal system abuse, which is driving up liability and defensive practices. I mean, this is happening everywhere, and we got to get a handle on this. Like, somebody actually has to step in. I mean, Donald Trump's out there trying to lower healthcare costs, right? Well, have you thought about this? I mean, think about the malpractice suits and the amount of money that one has to spend in settlements, $4 to $5 billion a year, not to mention all the insurance costs, right? You're looking at malpractice insurance costs for these hospitals of $10 to $15 billion. Your career can be ruined, right? If you have one of these, even if it's a frivolous claim and you're a doctor and you get one of these frivolous claims against you, God forbid you get two of them, I mean, it could be lights out for you and your profession and your career. And so I'm not adverse to giving consumers a stand in all this, right? Like, you ought to be able to sue somebody if something goes really, really wrong. But you've got people suing things that are not going really wrong. Like, it is just complete bedlam. Elon's one example on the shareholder lawsuits. And then you get all the malpractice suits, where so many of them are just ridiculous and they're costing our healthcare so much. Do you know that the US of A, has the highest tort cost per capita of any developing country in the world? I once asked my cousin, who's married to a woman from South Korea, about the health insurance industry and just health and healthcare in general in South Korea. He spent a lot of time living over there. By the way, they have like a superstar daughter who became the youngest. She's half American, half South Korean. I'm so proud of her. She's my little cousin, Casey Fair. She became the youngest player to ever play in the World Cup. I think she was like barely 16 years old. This was just last year. And now she plays out in LA for a professional team. She went pro. She's amazing, like totally amazing. My cousin's a former soccer player too. Not at that level. But anyway, he and I, we love to talk about some of these things. And like, I am someone who loves to look around the globe and look at sort of case studies that are out there. And the South Korea example is really interesting to me, because you know what they do? They limit the crazy lawsuits. They're like, okay, you know what? Like, we have to get a handle on this. And so they made the decision that they could help bring down healthcare costs by having a system that didn't sort of reward all these crazy lawyers. For example, you can't get a jury case, because those are very, very emotional, right? Like, you get a jury case and that tends to, you have these crazy awards amounted because people feel, obviously, you know, but you have to, like, for the greater good of the system, at some point say, all right, we're going to do something that is reasonable, but not excessive. And I'm not saying we go the path of South Korea, which, by the way, is a different legal system than us, but I am saying it's time to wake up and realize these costs, what they're costing society. And you have to think about it even in the context of what was going on with Elon Musk, because Elon's looking at it saying, why the heck do I want to work for this company, right? Why do I want to work for this company that I'm building? And by the way, I'm kind of the only guy that can do it when they're not even going to pay me. I'm sleeping on the floor. He's telling a friend, like, maybe I should be doing something else with my life. Yeah, you know what? That's what these crazy lawyers are costing us. They're costing us all the creativity and the work ethic and the engine that makes America, right? So to preserve capitalism in this case, I think we've got to do something about that. That's my little soapbox for the day, shall we say. I would also say we want to get to this big story. There are new demands being made of illegals or I should say new demands being made on ICE of illegals. We've been talking about this. I think this is going to heat up in a massive way. So I want you to keep an eye on this story. This is that Jennifer Thurston. She temporarily blocked border control agents from making warrantless arrests of suspected illegal migrants without probable cause before a warrant is obtained. So she's saying if you want to go after them, you have to have a warrant. They're arguing back that that's not really something that's possible. It's not possible because guess what? Guess what? In many cases, they flee, right? You believe they're involved in a criminal activity. You don't have a warrant, and guess what? They're gone by the time you can get them. So it's all turning into kind of a really nasty legal battle as we discuss some of these legal issues. I got to tell you, we have much more to get to, and we will do more on the show tomorrow. I want to remind you, as we look at a market right now that is trading higher, we actually are up. This is the wrong lower third. They do fear a slowing economy, though. We can leave it there. 76research.com, the company I own and have created really for you guys because I want you to have the best in class access to financial research. I want you to go over there, check it out. There are a lot of fears right now, but I'm going to tell you, the fears are misguided. I think that we're righting the ship, so to speak. Bessent's out there doing deal after deal after deal. Donald Trump is very open to deals, so we're going to get a lot of tariff deals. I don't think the tariffs are going to be as painful as some in the left-wing media would like you to believe. So I stay optimistic in this environment. Go check out 76research.com today. Thank you for all being here. I know it's an earlier day. Leslie, I saw your comments there. We are here earlier, but you know what? I had to bring you that news on Mike Waltz. Cat Crazy, you made it as well. Mike Costa, wow, guys. Impressive. I didn't even give you much of a heads up. Thanks for being here. We're going to talk tomorrow.